So the one and only Cardi B made an appearance on a big YouTube channel and podcast, Hot Ones, where they like eat hot wings and talk about whatever they talk about, and had some very surprising comments on a favorite historical figure, FDR. Take a listen.
What stays in my mind for a long time is that I went to FDR's house. If anybody loves me, know me, I love FDR.
You love FDR?
Yes, and I love Eleanor Roosevelt. And you know how he got us through the Great Depression with a war. Only president that got elected 4 times while he's in a wheelchair. As I grew up reading a lot about Eleanor Roosevelt, she had a very sad life. And like when I went to her house, well, she had different house from her husband because you know FDR mama, she was always around and she didn't really like that. Like Eleanor wanted her space. Just like me, I want my own space all the time. I saw the room where Churchill and FDR was talking about the nuke. That is crazy to me. Like I'm really here. I don't know why I'm obsessed with war.
Art of War, I could hear it with the aliens.
Yes, yes.
It's in you.
I'm obsessed with World War II. Like, I love World War I. Like, you know, I like reading about that. But World War II, like, I'm obsessed with just learning everything about it. So for me to be in the same room that Churchill and FDR was discussing the nuke is like, it was just such a moment for me. Like,
so I already love Cardi B. Remember,
Cardi
she
B's
endorsed
anti-tax. Don't forget about that.
She endorsed Bernie.
Yes, but she was also bitching about income tax. I remember
that is true.
There
yeah,
were
that
all
was
these
disappointing.
cringe Republicans at the time who were like, Cardi B is right. Keep your money, Cardi. Yeah, I was like, stop it.
I excised that from my mind. I'm just gonna pretend that didn't happen because I love Cardi B. I like her music. I'm just like a fan of her in general. Saagar, as a history buff, what did you make of these comments?
Well, I hate to break everybody's bubble, but that's basically regurgitating the Hyde Park tour word for word, and that's fine. It sounds like she was very struck.
Yeah, but she was into it. The question that she was asked. The question she was asked wasn't even about FDR. It was like her getting a cheese sandwich with Dave Letterman or whatever, and she was like, "Oh, that wasn't the thing. Yeah. This was the thing. This was the thing."
For those who are wondering, she's talking about the Manhattan Project and the development of the nuclear weapon. Eleanor Roosevelt, it's true. Sarah Roosevelt, who is FDR's mother, is like the quintessential helicopter mother. Because what happened is that FDR's father was much, much older than Sarah Roosevelt. I think he married her when she was like 20 or something, and he was like 50, so it was like a pretty significant difference. The issue was that she got pregnant, she had Franklin, and then the father got sick. And so because she was so young and they were alone, they were on this vast estate, you know, by themselves, they kind of made it a game about hiding how their father was sick, and the two of them, they were more like siblings than like mother-son relationship, which is a problem because Franklin, you know, marries Eleanor Roosevelt, even though at the protest of his mother doesn't like her from the get-go. She thought she was ugly. And they were, you know, fifth cousins or whatever. And there was like a rivalry there for his attention and control over his life.
And Eleanor never felt like she was viewed as adequate by his mom, and
it wasn't just
it was
mom.
always,
he treated her very badly.
It was always tense and uncomfortable, etc.
It's an interesting history. You know, Eleanor was very devoted to him for a while, but then she found out that he was cheating on her, and then, you know, obviously they didn't agree in divorce, and they kind of went their separate ways by the time they had adult children. And by the time they were in the White House, they had mostly reconciled, actually.
Yeah, I mean, and she was quite extraordinary in her own right and very like outspoken in the day. And actually, she was very. She was kind of more of an isolationist. There was some tension between them in terms of his desire to enter World War II. So she had her own views and her own like political context and her own political life. So I can see why Cardi B, as a very strong, independent woman, sees her as an inspiration, because I think she, you know, she is an inspiration. She was an inspiration to a lot of women, a lot of Americans.
She was an OG independent woman, actually. She was very politically active.
Sure.
She
had her own column.
She had her own columns that she used to write in. She actually probably the most influential first lady of her time, because she was massively influential in the New Deal and in getting blanking on the name. I think it's Frances Perkins, who was the first female labor secretary.
That's right.
Getting her appointed. And the two of them teamed up to do a lot of work on the National Youth Administration. They made it a big project of theirs during the New Deal to like save a lot of like youth who were suffering under the Great Depression. So yeah, she was an interesting lady.
And
Definitely.
FDR really relied on her to be kind of his eyes and ears and go places he couldn't go, like go into factories and see the working conditions and report back to him. And she maintained a lot of contacts in the anti-war movements and in civil rights movements, and so she was more connected, had more of her finger on the pulse of the grassroots and the overall population. So then, yeah, she ends up being influential in terms of the crafting of the New Deal, et cetera.
And then not only the UN, she did a lot of stuff. Anyway, we can go on forever.
Yeah, so
there's
anyway.
a good series, I'm blanking on it. I think it's called The Roosevelts. I think it's from, it's either Ken Burns, it's from PBS. It's like 10 episodes. Watch it. It's TR
really? I have to
all
check
the way
that
to the
out.
end. It's a phenomenal series, like 10 hours or something.
But I love to see, it's cool
Yeah.
to see, a cultural icon like
good.
Cardi B, obviously defying a lot of expectations for what she would want to talk about in this interview. And she's like, no, I don't want to tell you about Dave Letterman's cheese sandwich. I want to tell you about this historical thing that's really captured me.
Cardi B, come on the show. Let's talk about it.
Oh my God, I would love that. We can talk about taxes too if you want.
Sure. All right, I'll see you guys later.
Hey guys, if you like that video, go to breakingpoints.com, become a premium subscriber, and help us build the best independent media organization on the planet.
That's right. We're subscriber funded. We're building something new. We want to replace these failing mainstream media organizations.
So again, to subscribe, it's breakingpoints.com.